repeated, and every morning, Adia woke up to find herself pregnant once more, as if she were trapped in a nightmare with no end in sight. In the small village of Okaro, Adia was renowned for her beauty and grace. She had married a respected hunter, Kweme, and together they seemed the picture of happiness. For years, they lived a peaceful life, dreaming of starting a family. One day, Adia found herself with child, and the village celebrated the coming birth. But as the day of the delivery neared, strange signs began to show. Adia's pregnancy progressed rapidly, far faster than any normal woman's. She was with child for only 4 months when she went into labor. In an intense but relatively quick delivery, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy who they named Ekon. But as the village rejoiced, Adia and Kweme could not shake the unease that settled in their home. That night, Adia felt something stirring within her again, and to her horror, her stomach began to swell once more. By dawn, Adia was once again full-time pregnant. This time, she gave birth to a girl, Amma. Fear struck the couple, and they realized something was deeply wrong. Within days, the cycle repeated, and every morning, Adia woke up to find herself pregnant once more, as if she were trapped in a nightmare with no end in sight. The village elders were baffled by Adia's condition. Kweme, in desperation, sought the wisdom of the oldest elder, Nana Afia, who had seen many strange things in her lifetime. She examined Adia, her eyes narrowing with concern. After hours of rituals and incantations, Nana Afia sat quietly by the fire and told them the terrible truth. Many years ago, before Adia was born, her mother had wronged a powerful river goddess. Unaware of the offense, Adia's mother had failed to make an offering when she drew water from the sacred river for her crops during a long drought. The goddess, insulted by this negligence, cast a curse upon Adia's bloodline. It would not affect her mother, but her firstborn daughter would suffer an unnatural fate, endless births, until she appeased the goddess or wither away. Adia's heart sank. She had no idea her family's past had such a burden attached to it. Nana Afia warned her that if she didn't act soon, she would not only continue giving birth but might also face the loss of her own life as the cycle drained her strength. With this little choice, Adia and Kweme embarked on a perilous journey to the river goddess domain. They had to cross dangerous forests, traverse treacherous hills, and avoid wild beasts that roamed the land. Each day that passed, Adia birthed another child, and her body weakened. Kweme carried their newborns on his back, doing everything he could to care for his wife and their ever-growing family. The couple's journey took its toll, both physically and emotionally. They wondered how long Adia could survive such an unnatural fate. Her body, though resilient, was beginning to break. Her once strong frame had become frail, and Kweme feared for her life. Still, they pressed on, driven by the hope that they could reverse the course. One night, as they camped by a quiet stream, Adia looked at Kweme and said, "If I die before we reach the river goddess, you must continue this journey for our children's sake. They must be free from this curse." Kweme, his heart heavy, promised her that he would see the journey through to its end. As they approached the sacred river, they entered a dense and foreboding forest known as the Forest of Lost Souls. It was a place whispered about in the village, where it was said that those who entered rarely return. The trees seemed alive, their branches twisted into grotesque shapes, and the air was thick with a sense of dread. At night, the cries of lost souls echoed through the trees, causing even the bravest of the warriors to tremble. Adia and Kweme were not alone, and they knew it. Shadowy figures moved in the corners of their vision, and whispers filled the air. Exhausted from her daily bets, Adia could barely stand, let alone keep watch. Kweme, determined to protect her, stood guard every night, though the haunting voices gnawed at his sanity. One evening, as Adia prepared to deliver yet another child, a voice called out from the darkness. "Why do you venture into this cursed forest, mortal?" it asked. It was the voice of an ancient spirit that had once lived in Okaru, but had long since perished in the forest. "We seek the river goddess," Kweme replied, his voice firm. The spirit laughed, a hollow sound. "Many have sought her, but none have returned. Perhaps you will join us soon." After what felt like weeks in the air forest, Adia and Kweme finally emerged from the woods and found themselves at the edge of a great swimming river with their babies. It was beautiful, yet strange, with waters that glowed faintly under the moonlight. This was the river of the goddess, the source of the curse. But their journey was far from over. A guardian awaited them at the river bank, an enormous serpent with scales like silver and eyes that shone with the knowledge of ages. It coiled its body menacingly as they approached. Its gaze fixed on Adia. "You seek the goddess," it hissed, "but no mortal crosses this river without providing their words." Kweme stepped forward, his spear in hand, ready to defend his wife. But the serpent did not attack. Instead, it demanded a sacrifice. "You must offer me something of great value, or you will never cross these waters." The couple looked at each other, knowing that they had little left to give. But Adia, weakened and desperate, reached into her satchel and pulled out a small beaded necklace, an heirloom from her mother. "This was given to me as a child," Adia whispered. "It is the only thing I have left from her." The serpent eyed the necklace, then nodded its massive head. "Very well," it said. "The goddess will see you now." As they crossed the river on a small wooden boat, the air grew thick with magic. The water shimmered beneath them, and strange creatures swam just below the surface, watching with glowing eyes. When they reached the other side, the goddess appeared in a form both awe-inspiring and terrifying, a figure made of flowing water, her face shifting like ripples on a pond. "You have come to seek my mercy," the goddess spoke, her voice echoing like waves crashing on rocks. "But why should I leave the curse that has been placed upon your bloodline? Your family insulted me. They showed no respect." Adia fell to her knees, tears in her eyes. "I had no knowledge of the insult, great goddess. My mother's actions were not my own. I beg for your forgiveness. For the sake of my children, please release me from this endless torment." The goddess' expression softened momentarily. "It is not enough. The debt must be repaid. This trial is for Adia alone." Adia understood what the goddess meant. She looked down at her newborn child, swaddled in clothes, and then to her husband, her heart breaking. She had little left but her family. Yet the goddess demanded more. After a long, painful silence, Adia closed her eyes and whispered, "I will give you my fertility." Kweme gasped, knowing how much this meant to her. Adia had always wanted children, a large, loving family. The thought of giving up her ability to bear more children was a devastating blow, but she knew it was necessary to break the curse. The goddess nodded solemnly. "So be it." With a wave of her hand, the waters around them shimmered, and a strange light enveloped Adia. She felt a sharp, searing pain in her core, and in that moment, she knew she would never carry another child. The weight of that realization crashed over her like a tidal wave, but she stood tall, her heart heavy with sorrow. As the lights faded, the goddess spoke again, her voice less harsh now. The second trial is one of courage. You must enter the cave of echoes and retrieve the stone of truth. Inside, you will face the echoes of your deepest fears. Many have entered, but few have returned. It is a place where the mind can turn against you. Adia, weakened from the first trial, looked toward the dark cave at the river's edge. It was a jagged maw in the earth, black and foreboding, as if it swallowed all light. Her heart raced, but she knew she could not turn back now. Kweme wanted to go in her place, but the goddess forbade it. This is Adia's trial. She alone must prove her courage. With trembling steps, Adia entered the cave. Immediately, the temperature dropped and the air grew thick with an unnatural presence. The deeper she went, the louder whispers became. They spoke of her failures, her fears, and her doubts. You are a cursed woman, one voice hissed. Your children will grow to hate you, another said. You will never escape. But Adia pressed on, refusing to let the voices consume her. She knew they were lies, designed to break her spirit. As she reached the deepest part of the cave, the whisper grew louder, now echoing with painful truths she couldn't deny. You sacrificed your future to save your present. Will you ever forgive yourself? Tears streamed down her face, but she steeled herself, knowing she had come too far to fail. In the center of the cavern, she saw it, a small glowing stone resting on a pedestal. It paused with a faint light, calling to her. With trembling hands, she picked it up and held it close to her chest. The voices suddenly stopped, replaced by a deep, soothing silence. When she emerged from the cave, Kweme rushed to her side. The goddess stood waiting, her expression unreadable. You have proven your courage, the goddess said, but one trial remains. The last trial is the hardest, the goddess said, her voice softer now. It is a trial of the heart. You must forgive the one who wronged you, the one who set this course in motion. Adia's mind raced. Her mother had been the one who disrespected the goddess, though her mother had passed many years ago. The weight of her mistake still haunted Adia's life, but forgiving someone who had caused so much suffering seemed impossible. How could she forgive the one responsible for the nightmare that had consumed her life? The goddess seemed to read her thoughts. Forgiveness is not for the one who caused harm, but for the one who carries the burden. If you cannot forgive, you will carry the weight of this curse forever. Adia closed her eyes, searching her heart. She thought of her mother, who had always been kind, but had made a grave mistake without realizing the consequences. Holding on to the pain of the curse had hardened her heart, and she realized now that it was not only the curse that needed to be lifted, but also the anger she had harbored within herself. With a deep breath, Adia whispered, I forgive her. The moment she spoke those words, a great weight lifted from her soul. The goddess smiled, her watery form shimmering in approval. You have passed the final trial, Adia. You are free. As the goddess spoke those words, a powerful surge of energy flowed through Adia. Her body, once frail and weakened from the daily baths, felt renewed. The cycle had finally ended. The children she had birthed were no longer a sign of the curse, but a symbol of her endurance, her strength, and her love. The goddess raised her hand, and the waters around them swayed. Go now and live in peace. The debt has been repaid. With that, the goddess disappeared into the water, leaving Adia and Kweme alone at the riverbank. The couple embraced, their hearts full of relief and gratitude. They had survived the trials, and at last, Adia was free from the torment that had plagued her for so long. When Adia and Kweme returned to the village, the people of Okaru greeted them with open arms. News of their journey had spread, and they were hailed as heroes. The children that Adia had bettered during the course were seen not as burden but as blessings, each one unique and special in their own way. Adia, though unable to bear any more children, found solace in the love of the family she had already been given. She cherished each child, knowing that they were a testament to her strength and endurance. Kweme, ever the devoted husband, stood by her side through it all, their bond stronger than ever before. The village elders marveled at the tale of the cause and the trials Adia had overcome. It became a story told for generations, a reminder of the power of sacrifice, courage, and forgiveness. Years passed, and Adia grew old, but her story lived on. The children she had bettered during the course grew into strong men and women, each one carrying a piece of their mother's resilience. They too told the story of their mother's bravery, ensuring that her legacy would never be forgotten. Adia often sat by the river, where she had faced the goddess, reflecting on the journey that had changed her life. Though the course had once seemed like an unbearable burden, it had shaped her into the woman she was. It taught her that the value of sacrifice, the strength of courage, and the healing power of forgiveness. And in her heart, Adia knew that the true victory was not in breaking the course, but in finding peace within herself. Thank you, listeners, for enjoying and listening to this story. Please, your support means a lot and helps me to keep sharing more stories. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also leave a comment on how much you enjoyed the story. Bye.